All right, if you all can believe this, it is already May, which means that it is time for another monthly market update for the real estate market in Hamilton and Niagara. I feel like I was just here updating you guys not that long ago, but you know what? I am absolutely thrilled to have the nice weather coming in. And with the nice weather, with the changes that we're seeing in the weather and the sunshine and the warmth that we're seeing, we're also seeing the market continue to heat up. Yes, that's a corny and cheesy segue into talking about the market, but here we are. So let's just take a quick minute to kind of take a look at the bigger picture in general as to what's going on. Just the 1,000 foot view looking down, if you will, as to what's happening in the Niagara market and the Hamilton market, respectively. Now, overall in southwestern Ontario, what we're seeing is that the rebound of the markets are continuing to happen. So when we were seeing those lows in the wintertime, those have continued to rebound over time, and they've continued that this month as well. Now, what we're seeing with the specific levels, like the median prices of homes in those markets, is that we are just about where we were a full year ago. So in the spring of 2023, that's generally the ballpark of where we were. And also the prices that we're seeing now eclipse what we were seeing in the fall of 2023. So spring of 2023, fall of 2023, spring of 2024 are all similarly priced. There's kind of three eclipse points that are happening currently, which, to be honest, is actually a little bit of a breath or a little bit of relief for buyers who had purchased something, so homeowners who had purchased something in the last year or so, right? Because there was a time, if you were on the clock a few years ago, there was a time where the market was just continuing to come down and a lot of people lost value in their home. So if you bought in the last year and were worried about the market coming down, that definitely did happen a little bit more. But now we're starting to kind of recover and come back. So it's more of a linear line across, these segments that I was talking about. So let's zoom in a little bit more on Niagara for a second. And Niagara did pretty well. Niagara was lagging behind kind of out of the gate this year when the new year started, and has caught up quite well over the last few months. And when we look at the numbers in comparison to last month, it's up almost 2% again across the region and across all home types, which is great news for homeowners. That's positive equity growth. And specifically, Fort Erie, Niagara Falls, and Port Colborne have all done really well. They've actually done better than the trend kind of across the region. Now, where things don't look so good is in Smithville, which has kind of seen a little bit of a decline or like a little bit of a stagnation over the last little while. But you know what? Like those three other markets are doing tremendously well. And without the outlier of Smithville, everything else looks pretty good. And there's actually a specific area that I want to zoom in on one more time here, and that's in Welland. And Welland's a really interesting region of Niagara because it has done incredibly well if you look back at the data from 6 months ago. So let's say that you purchased a home 6 months ago for $520,000, which was the average sale price at the time. That has now appreciated by $40,000 roughly to bring you to $560K. So not too bad at all in 6 months. You've appreciated your equity by 8% on average. That's pretty great. All right, let's zoom back out and then kind of fix our attention and fix our focus on Hamilton, like the Hamilton region for a second. So Hamilton region is doing very well too. Like I said, it's kind of continuing that increase and that rebound from when prices were low. They took a little bit of a dip. They're still heading back up. Now, not quite as dramatic as we've seen in previous months, but still almost up 1% from last month. That's still a decent number, and that trend is definitely continuing. We haven't seen anything kind of stagnate or decline yet, so that's still positive growth. And that's generally what you're seeing across the board. But if you have a house in Hamilton Center, prices have done a little bit more. They've done a little bit better than the average across the region, which is good for you if you own in that area. Now, in terms of Hamilton, there is a region that I want to just give a little bit of a focus on because I actually see it as an opportunity for a purchase and to still kind of get a good deal relative to where the market is currently. And that is in the neighborhood around Gage Parks. So right where in the area where those really the nicer homes are, right tucked up against the escarpment, again, right around Gage Park in that area of Hamilton. They've actually seen a couple months of decline, which is, again, bucking the trend of the bigger picture that we're seeing in Hamilton. So for the time being, you might actually have a little bit of a window where prices aren't as on par with value as they should be, and you might be able to score a little bit of a deal or get a good opportunity in that specific area of Hamilton. Okay, so let's zoom out as the biggest picture that we can and just talk a little bit about what are some of the recommendations that I have. Well, it's pretty cut and dry, and I'll break it down right now in one of two ways. So one is for buyers. If you are a buyer right now, the lowest prices are behind us, yes, but there still is opportunity. There is lots of projections and lots of economists and lots of banks that are predicting further price increases into the future. In fact, they are predicting that by 2026, maybe even as soon as next year, we're going to be back to peak prices, which is outstanding to think about. So if you are looking to get into the market, I'm telling you, this is the time. Don't wait for the interest rates to go down, or don't wait until next year or the year after that. It really is. This is a window of opportunity, and we're going to look back as this is the lowest point for the foreseeable future. And then on the flip side of that, for sellers, it really is almost the opposite advice. If you have the opportunity to wait when interest rates go down, or to wait until next year or 2026, that's when you're probably going to maximize the most value for your house or for your home that you're in. Now, if you do have to sell, there are things that you can do to maximize the equity or maximize the immediate value in your home. Just simple things like landscaping, painting, retouching, things like that. So there are things that you can do, but if you don't have to sell, I wouldn't. And that is your snapshot of the real estate markets in Hamilton and Niagara, respectively, for the month of May. I release these every month, so make sure to subscribe. And I will be seeing you all next month in June, if you can believe it, halfway through the year. Crazy. Here we are. But anyways, hope you enjoy. And if you have any questions or comments at all, leave them in the comments below, or you can find my contact information as well in the description, so you can get a hold of me that way. All right. See you on the next one.